Our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. Pablo Picasso. Today's episode is supported by Online Publishers and Entrepreneur Network, founded by Edirin Edewor, which is an all-encompassing group of authors, writers, freelancers, and entrepreneurs. This group is for authors and intending authors who want to learn how to master the art of publishing and profiting from ebooks on local and international platforms like Amazon, as well as becoming Amazon best-selling authors. This is a safe group that is dedicated and committed to the growth of its members. To be a part of this wholesome and forward-thinking group, head over now to www.facebook.com/groups/open network, right? But the open network is one N, open network, right? Or you can click on the link in the description of this podcast to join that group. So I'm just going to introduce our guest today before I bring her on board, okay? Our guest today is Edirin Edewor, who is a multiple Amazon best-selling author, an award-winning entrepreneur, international speaker, coach, principal consultant, and founder at Edago Solutions with footprints across Africa and the UAE. She is a foremost thought leader on mindset and business strategy for entrepreneurs and online publishing for personal and business brands. She is the founder of the Online Publishers and Entrepreneur Network, acronym OPEN, a community of over 29,000 authors, writers, and entrepreneurs, helping them become published as well as profiting from their skills using new media. Till date, she has helped over 1,005 authors to get published online and in print, with more than 200 Amazon bestsellers emerging. Edirin Edewor has won many awards, including the Skill Up Africa Hero Award in 2019, Ladies of Honor Award for Leadership 2019, and Iconic Brand Award for Young Personality of the Year 2019. In 2019, she was also nominated for the Future Award Prize for New Media. She's also listed as one of Nigeria's top 100 influential young Nigerians by Avance Media and Why Naija Most Powerful Person in Media Under 40. Can you see that my guest today is loaded, right? So let us jump into today's episode and juice out what she has for us today. All right, guys, welcome back. I have my guest here. So welcome to the Afrocentrist podcast, Edirin. It's good to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So today on the show, I want us to talk about goal setting. You know, as we know that it is that time of the year where people begin to think more intentionally about the new calendar year. And as a strategist yourself, I would like for you to talk about, things that individuals or businesses should start to look into to set achievable goals for the coming year. So my first question to you will be that what are some common mistakes people and business owners make that stop them from setting their goals and achieving it?
Okay, thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for that question. One major mistake that I have found that a lot of business owners and people make when setting their goals is that they fail to look at what they have already done and where they're coming from. In order for you to move forward, you have to first of all see how far you've come and see how you got to where you currently are at whatever position you are. So the first thing you want to do when trying to set goals for the new year is to look at what you have done so far and see how you got there, and then strategize from that current position going forward so that you're able to set achievable and realistic goals that you can actually achieve. By looking backwards and looking at your history and looking at all the systems and strategy that got you the results or the lack of results that you currently have, you're able to then make adjustments and amendments to whatever strategies you're using to get to the next position.
Fantastic. So, but what do you think are some of the challenges that stop people from actually setting the goal? Because I feel like it's in the achieving of the goal, the problem is often from the setting of the goal. How do you think people should begin to set the goal in such a way that they can actually achieve it?
Okay, so I find that one of the challenges people have usually when it comes to setting goals is they are scared. Many people don't set goals because they're afraid that they're not going to achieve them, right? So many times they end up setting very, very low goals, very, very watered down goals. They basically lowball their goals because they don't want the fear, they don't want to feel that feeling of frustration and that feeling of failing. And the funny thing is, as long as you continue to set very, very low goals, eventually over time, you will find yourself not being able to progress. So, in starting to set your goals, the first thing you want to do, first of all, is to understand and admit to yourself that it's okay to not hit your goals. It's okay to not hit your goals. This is something that a lot of people struggle with. People are like, okay, but what's the point of setting goals if I know I'm not going to hit
If
it?
I'm not going to hit
It's
it,
not
yeah.
that you don't know you're going to hit it, but you're already dealing with the fact that if you don't hit it, no matter what happens, you'll be fine. You will still be fine. You'll still be okay. The world will not end, and it is
And
not. It doesn't mean that you don't have the right abilities. It doesn't mean that you're not good. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It just means that you need to try a little harder. All right. So
okay.
setting a high goal and a very audacious goal and having the peace of mind that no matter what happens I will be fine with the outcome of the goal doesn't also mean that you become lazy and complacent. It means that you're willing to give in everything you
All it
possibly
takes.
can and you're okay with whatever result that gets you. Because when you get to the end, let's say for example you had a goal to do 100% of something and you found yourself getting to 80%. When you get to the end of the duration of time you needed to complete that goal, you will then be able to see clearly what you need to do extra to enable you to get that extra 20% to get to the 100% next time. So the first thing you want to do is start with intention. The intention that I'm going to set a goal that is bigger than my current ability to reach it so that I can grow into that person who becomes capable of achieving the goal. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the former president of Liberia, said something that I live by till this day. She said that our goals must always exceed our current capacity to solve them. So if you're setting a
Okay.
goal that you know you can achieve with everything you have right now, you haven't really set a goal. You have just put an action or an activity that you can normally do on a normal day. You're not growing, you're not pushing yourself. But when you set a goal that is a bit more than you are currently used to, it forces you to stretch yourself, it forces you to expand yourself, it forces you to grow. And when you look back 5 years from now, the things that were scaring you about that goal become laughable. You find yourself laughing about those things and saying, imagine the things that I was scared about 5 years ago. These are the things that I do in my sleep now. So setting intentions and being clear on where you want to get to, being clear on your objectives and knowing that it's okay to not get there, but still setting those audacious goals anyway, because you know that even if you don't hit those goals, you will become a different person for it.
Indeed. I like it. Like what you said, because from what I deduced from what you said is that you don't focus on the result,
Yeah.
but rather on the process.
Yeah.
But first of all, let the intention be there that I want to achieve this thing and it is bigger than where you currently are, so that you can stretch and metamorphose into that new person that you want to be to achieve that goal. So now you've said, okay, let's set these goals higher than how it is. Are there any hacks, right, to saying how do we break down those goals so that we put action, we have action that backs up these goals that we've written down?
Yeah, definitely. So I want to start with something that may be funny to a number of people. We need to stop setting our goals like we are writing prayer points. you know, we at the beginning of the year, people write like 1,000,001 things that they want to achieve. Those are just prayer. You're just doing the prayer point method. When you go to church on the 31st of December and they're like, oh, we're going into 2021.
You
Let's
write all
write
the things.
21 things that we want God to do for us. And then we go into goal setting with that same mindset and that same mentality and activities. There is a difference between goals and intentions. Goals are specific results that you want to get within a period of time.
Time.
Intentions are the things that you do that may not necessarily be measurable, but in the end will aggregate to helping you achieving that
Those
particular
goals.
goal. So when it comes to business owners, for example, I tell business owners set one goal. Have one major goal. Your goal may be a growth metric, maybe a financial metric. For example, you may say, okay, my goal for the next year is to bring in a turnover, a revenue of, let's say, $100,000.
Okay.
That's one goal. Now,
Okay.
what are the things that I need to do to help me achieve those
That
goals?
goal.
Those are the other things that people start writing as extra goals as well. But you forget that everything that you do in your business is to help you to gain
Achieve that
income,
one
right?
goal.
Your goal of a business is to make profit, right? And you setting a financial goal is usually one of the best goals to set. So let's say you set a goal for $100,000 for your business. You'll now ask yourself, what four major benchmarks do I need to hit in order for me to achieve that goal of $100,000? There's a proverb that says, how do you eat an elephant? The same way you eat any other thing, little by little.
Little.
So you don't just try to swallow the entire elephant. If you look at an elephant and you try to eat an elephant, it's a daunting task. But if you break it down, it doesn't seem so scary anymore because it's no longer such a big thing. It's just a whole of very, very tiny pieces that can be easy to manage. So you want to break down that major goal into what we call benchmarks. So as a business person, we usually used the 4 quarters of the year for benchmark. So every 3 months represents 1 quarter. So January to March, for example, is the first quarter. So let's say you set your goal for $100,000 as revenue for the year. Then you want to tell yourself, if my goal is $100,000, that means that my benchmark should be $25,000 every quarter. So what do I need to do to enable me to hit $25,000 per quarter? Maybe what I need to do is I need to increase the number of my clients by 100%. If I had 100 clients, I need to have 200 clients. Maybe I need to increase the price of my products and increase the quality of my products that will match and justify the price. By increasing the quality of my products, I can safely increase the price of my products. And by increasing the price of my products, I can actually make more revenue. Another thing I could do is to offer more products. Maybe I used to offer 3 products. I could decide to create 3 new products to make it 6 products. The more products I have to offer, the more I'm able to sell. Maybe another thing that I want to do is to expand my market. Instead of me serving just one country, how can I actually take my market global so I actually make more money? So instead of focusing on just one region or focusing on my country or my local vicinity, how do I expand? So all of these questions, when you are setting your goals, help you to begin to think of solutions. So when people are setting goals, for example, they usually put a full stop. I usually advise put a comma, put a question mark, because commas and question marks enable you to think, whereas full stop just puts a finality to the whole situation. Oh, I want to make $100,000 full stop. It's not possible. I want to make $100,000, comma, how do I do it? That will to begin to think, to begin to come up with solution. I never put a full stop at the end of any campaign that I'm running, at the end of any statement I'm making, because it puts a finality to it. It kind of makes me feel defeated.
Wow.
But when I put a question mark, like for example, oh, I want to take 3 vacations this year, and I put a full stop, and there is nothing else that spurs me to think about how I can make that happen. It dies there. So your dreams are basically dead on arrival. Your goals are dead on arrival.
Wow.
But if you say, I want to take 3 vacations this year, how do I achieve it? you find as an open-ended question, it causes me to begin to think of solutions.
Wow.
So that's a simple hack that a lot of people don't know, but it's one tiny thing that you could use to change your the entire course of your year by doing that in your goal setting and doing that in your strategy session. Because by asking questions, instead of putting full stops and finalities, you're able to think of more solutions. I also want people to understand that benchmarks can be broken down into daily actions. If my goal is to increase the number of customers I have by 100%, what do I need to do every day to ensure that this happens? So a lot of people just stop there at the benchmark. I need to increase my customers, and then they don't know how they're going to do it. Again, you ask questions. I need to increase my customers by 100%. How do I do that? What do I need to do every day to ensure that this happens? This is where you now begin to break down everything that you're doing into actionable points, because by doing this, you then have a blueprint for working every day. And because you've asked the questions, you have done your research, you know that you're asking the right questions and you're giving the right answers. You have something that you can work with every single day. All you need to do is just do those things you have said you need to do. It's as simple as that. In order for you to hit your goals or to reach your goals, you just need to do the things that you said you're going to do and do them every day. Are we together?
Wow. I know, like, it's so simple, but yet very profound. You know, I've just, as you kept talking, I've just been thinking, like, there are some goals that I have personally set for myself. And I mean, something as simple as just putting a full stop, like you said, just makes it like, oh, okay, this thing is looking like it's not working, or this thing is looking like I can't achieve it, so maybe I cannot. But if I just change that full stop to a comma and then add a question and put a question mark, then my mind begins to look for the solution. Like, this is so profound. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes. So for people who are on this journey of personal development, for example, right? I feel like, yes, this can also apply to them. But let us say that their goals or what they want to achieve is not about like something you can put a figure on, right? They want to become a better speaker, for example, or a better writer. So there is no figure to it, like, you know how you can break it into the money part, now let's say $100,000, how you can break it into four parts. How do you handle that if you are in that space where the result you are looking for is not tangible, it's not something you can, but is evident?
The short answer, and I'm going to answer both the short answer and the long answer. The short answer is to make it tangible. That's the short answer. The long answer is, how do I make it tangible? You see, so we don't put full stop. Okay, if it's not tangible, how do I make it tangible? So I want to become a better writer, right? How do I become a better writer? How do I know that I have become a better writer? What needs to happen in my life, in my circle of influence, in the way I'm perceived, in the results I get, for me to know I'm a better writer? So by the time I start asking those questions, I begin to look, how do I know that this person who I aspire to be like is a better writer? What makes me see them as better writers? What makes them a better writer? Maybe it's the number of followers that they have on social media. Okay. Is that a tangible measurement? The answer is yes. Maybe it's the amount of engagement they get on their post. Compared to other people's posts, they get a lot more engagement. If I compare my post to their post, maybe one of their average posts on a normal day, what's the disparity in numbers? If I write and my post gets 12 likes, and they write and their post gets 1,000 likes, I know that what I want to do then is to aspire to getting my post to having 1,000 likes. Maybe if I write, I have 2 comments, but the 2 comments are well done or thank you. But when they write, they get full comments of people telling, oh, thank you so much. It's really touched me. You know, you talked about this thing and I really felt it and I really loved the way you communicated. And they get like 500 comments. So I know that the difference between me and them is my getting myself from my 2 comments to their 500 comments. Has that become a tangible goal?
go.
So the next question is, okay, yes, they have 500 comments and 1,000 likes. How do I get my posts to that? By the time you start asking the questions, remember, no full stops, only question marks and open-ended questions. By the time you start asking all the hows and the whats and the wheres and the whos, you start to find out there is a pattern to activities, to the things that they do, to actions and steps that they take. For example, to become a better writer, I realized that this person that is really good talks about a lot of books that they read. So it seems like to become a better writer, I need to read a lot of books. So I will give myself a target. A number of books is actually a tangible goal.
True.
I will give myself a target. I would read one book every 2 weeks. And which means that if I need to read one book every 2 weeks, if 2 weeks is about 14 days, and I'm reading a book that has an average of 140 pages, I need to read 10 pages of that book every day.
Wow.
So that is a daily goal. This person, who's such a good writer, seems to write every single day. And I know that they did not become a great writer on day one. They started somewhere. But they are very consistent. And they write every day. Now, they're writing once a day. But if I want to be as good as them, I need to do more. So I will put out content 3 times a day and keep writing till I get better. So you see, now you have 2 daily activities. 1, read 10 pages of a book a day. Number 2, write 3 times a day. An article of not less than 200 words. And so you see, the more you write, the more you read, the more you write, and you learn words, you begin to understand vocabulary and how to use words and understand context, the more you begin to get better. Okay, this person that I really admire is a great writer. Are there other great writers like this person? Can I study their work and how they write? And can I use their inspiration to find my own inner voice so that I can find my own style of writing? I don't want to look like I'm copying them. I don't want to look like I'm just a replica of them. How do I find my own voice? Again, I would read, I would write, I will study. So I will look for articles of the greatest writers and read their articles. I would read 3 different articles from 3 different writers every single day, and then try to note the differences in the writers, how they communicate, how they write, what their languages are, how do they put their commas, how many lines do they write before they have a paragraph, what are their nuances. By nuances, what are the tiny little differences that people don't realize that I can actually spot by comparing 3 different articles of 3 different people. So, for example, somebody may be a great writer, and instead of using the word punctual, they may use the word early. So those are nuances, and you want to try and find, the differences. And by doing that, you're now able to understand why people are different. So you have a lot more activities that you can do as a writer. I'm going to read 10 pages of a book a day. I'm going to write 3 articles every day. I'm going to study the articles of 3 of my favorite writers every single day. Every time they post, I will turn on notifications for their posts on social media so I can go and read and study. And by so doing, I'm inspired, I'm understanding, I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm doing, and eventually, one day, somebody is going to be out there studying my articles as well because it inspires them to write.
Wow. You are so great at this, right? Like, I literally feel like I'm in a class right now. What? My goodness. You must have been doing this for so long and you're so great at this. I mean, do you have a program where you teach people how to set their goals? Because I feel like somebody should listen to this and go like, wow, I need to be in the classroom with this woman. Do you have a class like that, please?
I actually do have a goal setting mastery course and workbook. It's currently on my website now. It's at a ridiculous rate. But I'm currently, I don't know when this is going to be airing, but December 20th, I'm going to be teaching a 2021 planning session where I'm going to actually be doing it live. So,
Please
yeah.
tell us a little bit about that, because this is going live on Friday, the 4th of December, right? So please tell us about your program so that people can plug into that.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Yes, so I'm having a 2021 prep session where I'm basically going to be working with a few people who are ready to actually crush their goals, people who are ready to actually do all of the things that they need to do in order for them to succeed at their goals. So all these things I have shared with you right now are just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to cover everything from auditing the year. That's 2020. We're going to cover goal setting in its entire detail. We're going to cover vision boarding. Then we're going to cover systems and strategies for you to actually achieve those goals. Then there are going to be worksheets as well to help students in the class to actually go through and practicalize on all of the things that we're going to share. So that's it. It's going to be a phenomenal class. It's going to be about 2 hours of classes, and I'm going to answer everybody's questions and, just basically make it rock, because 2020 is going to be amazing. 2021 is going to be amazing. 2020 was like preparation for the post-COVID era. And so we are ready now to actually deal with it. I told some people today that even if dinosaurs were to wake up from extinction in 2021, we'll be better prepared to handle them.
Fantastic. So if somebody is coming from the Afrocentrics podcast, is there a way they can get a particular discount?
Oh, definitely. So the class itself is 20,000 naira, but I had opened it up for only the first 10 people to register to get it at a discount of 50% off. That's 10,000 naira. But
Great.
For those of you who are going to be listening between 4th, I think, of December, and the 10th of December, I'm going to be opening it up for members of the Afrocentric podcast to get it at that discount as well. So when the price goes up, it won't affect you.
Okay. Guys, you don't want to sleep on this one. The link is going to be attached to the description of this podcast. Please jump on it. Like, you need to be in this class with Edirin. By the way, you already heard her profile when I read it before she came on. So you don't want to be sleeping. This woman knows her onion. She knows what she's doing. She has a community of close to 30, if not over 30,000 people. Not just people now, authors, writers, freelancers, and all sort of, experts in their field. So you really, really want to jump on this offer. And she's giving us 50% discount. You don't get that anywhere else. All right. Thank you so much, Edirin, for availing your time to be here and for sharing this deep insight. Like, my takeaway from this discussion is just the simplicity in the little changes that we can make in the process of setting goals. Just tweak it for us and help us achieve better goals, or even set better goals and then achieve them at the end of the day. Thank you so much. If people want to connect with you other than this platform, I know I've said it before, but I'd just like for you to say it again. How can they connect with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Edirin Edewor. You can also connect with me on my website at edirinedewo.com, and my Facebook community, where I cater to people who are writers, authors, entrepreneurs, and who are big on personal development, at the Online Publishers and Entrepreneurs Network. Though that acronym is OPEN. So Online Publishers and Entrepreneurs Network. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And I wish you all the best with your programs coming and all the fantastic things that you are doing. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now to the current affairs segment. Okay, so GTEx Global is happening this December. It's happening in 2 days. It's starting in 2 days. GTEx Global is one of the world's biggest tech conference held in Dubai every year, right? And this year is going bigger and hybrid because it's going to be a mix of people coming live to the event and also people can stream online, giving participants the opportunity to network and be part of the event either physically or online via the GTEX Plus. So if you are in the UAE from 6th to 10th December, you had better make it a date and register to get your pass to attend, because there will be no passes at the venue. You have to register and print out your own pass, just in accordance with the COVID-19 procedure or precautions, right? However, should you be unable to travel to Dubai for the conference in person, you can connect from wherever you are in the world via the GTEX Plus platform. Please check the details of this podcast for the link, and I hope to see you there. That will be all for today. Till I come your way again next week, remain awesome and compliment of the season to you and yours. Bye. See you next week. Bye.